talk, everybody listen. Say hate, hate, hate cookie. Latest gossip, television shows, yeah, you know I'm spilling. Reading them documents, facts don't lie. Tune in, drop it in the chat, don't be shy. And let's talk about it. Welcome to Tater Talk Lane, come ride with me. Hot tea, real talk, yeah, that's the key. So tune in, let's talk about it.
Y'all, we are here for a quick, it ain't gonna be that quick, okay, because we're gonna do 3 parts, okay? So you guys all have heard by now about the Nolan'S death and the suspicions that's surrounding this young man's passing. Now we are hearing from one of his friends, Warren, and y'all, we gonna break down the lies because it's some bullshit in here that don't be making no sense, and I don't like when people try to play on other people's intelligence, okay? Because it's a bunch of fugazi, and I really hate it when people try to act like race is not a thing when this whole interview is because of this person's race and his hate for his own race, for one, because why would y'all pick him out of everybody? But we digress. We just gonna go ahead and listen to the interview. Let me hit you with the fair use per, okay? And then we're gonna get into this bullshit, okay? And before we get into all of it, rest in peace, Nolan'S, okay? So let me share my screen. But I gotta hit y'all with this. What in the world is going on? Child? Because this can't be right. Here we go with the bullshit. Y'all, here we go with the bullshit. And just to let you guys know that this guy, like I said, this is his alleged friend. Everything on the channel is alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. But this is not that entertainment. This is really just kind of debunking some of the lies and making some of the stuff make sense that don't make sense, asking the real questions, okay? The shit we want to know. So let's get into it, okay?
So Warren, I'm gonna ask you some very pointed questions. I mean, just straight out. The first thing I want to ask you is, did you kill Nolan? All right, Warren, we had a chance to get to know each other over the last 2 days, went out to Horn Island. So I've had an opportunity to talk to you about a few things, and the things that you've told me have literally blown my mind. But
first of all, what's blowing my mind is why are you dressed in all black with long sleeves and boots on and it's fucking summertime in Mississippi?
World haven't had a chance yet to hear your story, to hear Nolan's story through you, through his friend, and it's not just you; it's a bunch of y'all. But you know, some of the other guys were afraid because of the threats and the violence that's been threatened against their lives. And
what threats and violence? What I want to know what the threats and the violence was, because I hate when people do this type of shit. Like y'all do some old fuck ass bullshit, and then when people call you out on it or people is demanding answers for it, that's not a threat. That's a request for answers. And I want to know where these alleged threats are. Because I thought that the government and the governor and all the people said they was investigating this. From the mother said she didn't receive threats for her. And what did she do? She posted the bullshit that she was one of the bullshit, the shit that she was receiving. Why y'all ain't posted these threats and all this type of stuff? And I know his stepmother. Where is his real mother? Is she living? But I know his stepmother, the judge, posted some stuff that didn't even look like it made any fucking sense. And again, she's a judge, so she knows the proper protocol, because that's a very serious crime to not unalive someone, or cover up for someone's unaliving, but it's also a very serious crime to threaten a judge.
All of the above. But you decided that you wanted to take this bold step and give a statement and, get your side out here. And I want to start at the very beginning of all of this and ask you, what was your relationship like with Nolan? Who was he to you?
Nolan, I could describe Nolan in a million ways. I mean, Nolan was not just a best friend of me, but he was a brother. I grew up through elementary, middle school, high school, and even our freshman year of college. You know, we talked on the phone all the time. We were really close friends. And I mean, Nolan was like a brother to me. And Nolan lit up every room he walked in. He always had a smile on his face. He always had something good to say. I've never seen Nolan get in an argument with somebody and say bad things about someone. You know, there's a lot of people that talk crap nowadays, and Nolan was never that person. Sweetest soul ever. And I mean, I had a great relationship with Nolan. I've never got in an argument with Nolan. We were super close, and I've never said or will ever have anything bad to say about Nolan Wells.
That's strange, because from what he's just describing is that this person, he has known this person, Nolan, for really all the life that he can remember. From elementary school, we don't remember a lot of stuff from before elementary school, right? So as long as he can remember, Nolan has been in his life or around his life, you know, in it's particular school, elementary, middle school, high school, and even continued on through college.
Yeah, and you guys, you said you kind of grew up together. Mm-hmm. Did you know his mom, or how was that? Because I saw in the media where it appears that she may have said, at least I saw in part, that she said as if she didn't know any of you guys.
Right. Well, Nolan, a lot of the times was at like my house and at my buddy's house. We never went to Nolan's house and hung out. I mean, and my friend group's very, very tight knit. I mean, we hang out every day when we're back home from school. In high school, we hung out most weekdays and every day on the weekend. And I mean, we were never at Nolan's house, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But
who said something was wrong with it? But you must feel like something is wrong with it now that you're saying this really out loud, because that doesn't make sense that you would align yourself with someone since damn near birth, kindergarten, and then for you to have never been to his house. Like, y'all ain't never go to his house to pick him up. Like, did y'all ever go to his house to drop him off? Like, y'all never been to his house. And you have known this boy for all of your life that you can even remember. And y'all was so tight knit. That would scream that you would know his mother, his father. His father was very involved, it seems like, in his athletics and stuff like that. So
I met his father, and I mean, in 8th grade, that's when Nolan and I like got really close. It was COVID year, and we were in class all year long together, me and a couple of my buddies, and Nolan and I just got super tight because we'd go to Waffle House once a week together, eat, and I mean, we were just super, super close. But his dad would swing by Waffle House, you know, and like, you know, hang out around us, but never, you know, I was never around Nolan's parents a lot, but I mean, that didn't change our relationship. And Nolan and I were still just as close, and he was just as close with my friends as, you know, anyone else. So,
but just because you don't go to their house, then that again, it still would mean that, like you were saying, like you know, the daddy will come up there. So like, well, his father, you know, knew me very well, because, you know, he used to come up to the Waffle House oftentimes when we were at the Waffle House eating, you know, maybe after practice or something like that, or after school. But it doesn't seem like that's really true.
Walk me through the day of 4th of July where you guys were all going out.
Right.
This seems like something that I would assume that may have occurred more than just this year.
Yeah, of course.
Was it something that you guys did more than just this year? This is a 2-part question. I want to know, is it something that you guys typically did together, that you hang out often in this fashion? And then I want you to then walk me through 4th of July this year when the incident happened.
Okay. You know, being from the Gulf Coast, there's boating and fishing is very, very popular. The 4th of July, every year, my friends and I, or my family and I, are out on the water. I mean, that's the one day is guaranteed. Everybody's going.
He didn't ask you for your family history of what you guys did and activities that you did, like a family tradition on the 4th of July. He asked you to take him back to that day, the 4th of July that's just been a couple weeks ago. 4th of July, 2026, Warren.
Out. And that's a known thing. Everybody's trying to get a ride out to Horn Island, or, you know, people go to Ship Island, but most of everybody from Ocean Springs and the Gulf Coast go to Horn Island. And, you know, we went last year. Nolan was on the boat with me last year, and he was, I I mean, this was a common thing. My friends go on the boat.
He cut something out there, and it's a lot of the stuff that he cuts out, a lot of these things in this interview. And since this interview is being so transparent and all this type of thing, why wasn't it done live? I'm wondering, why wasn't this not done live?
When we're home, very, very common. That's what we like to do. My friends like to fish also, and like to go on the boat, not just fishing, but like to go on the boat, like to go on sunset cruises, like to do it all, on the water, And I mean, Nolan loved to do that too. I mean, he was not like he was just like everyone else in our friend group. He loved to go on the water and, have a good time with the guys. And that's what we did a lot. But 4th of July, everybody was out there. Like I said, like Nolan was always trying to go on the boat, trying to go out there with us. And he was always welcome to come. Nolan was always out there with us. And, but started 4th of July, my buddies and I had talked about this week's upcoming,
That's kind of two different things. Him trying to get out there with you guys and always going out there with you guys. Like, which one is it? Is he's always trying to go with y'all, begging y'all, can I go? Can I go? Y'all going to Horn Island? Are y'all going out on a boat? Can I go? Can I go? And y'all, turn him down sometime? Or is he always there with y'all?
Everybody's very, very excited for the 4th of July from down here. Like, it's a big thing.
It's a big deal.
Very, very big deal. And I mean, I actually stayed with Nolan that night at my buddy's house, and I woke up at my buddy's house, and we went to McDonald's, got food. Nolan was not with me, and I went and got breakfast. I had my buddy's boat hooked up to my truck, and first I ran to my house, then I went to McDonald's and came back, and the boat was already hooked up to my truck. My buddy.
He's forgetting what he's been rehearsing. Because you and the buddy went to, like, we don't give a fuck about none of this. We don't give a fuck who hooked the boat up, but let's just go with it. Now you and the buddy just didn't go to McDonald's and left Nolan at the house. You went to, I guess, get the boat. And it miraculously got hooked up to your car or boat or truck, and then y'all went to McDonald's?
Wyatt and I went, and with my buddy, and we went, filled the top of the boat off, loaded it down with ice, and just got everything ready. Then Wyatt went and put his smaller boat in the water, which is the Palm Beach. He's an 18-foot Palm Beach, and I drove the boat from Fort Bayou boat launch to my buddy's grandparents' house, and that's where we all planned to meet up that day. And
you say we all, who are you talking about? You, Nolan, and how many people are going to meet you guys there?
We had roughly 20 to 30 people coming on 3 separate boats with us. And so we were all following each other out there as one big group. It wasn't just me and Nolan and a couple other of my buddies. There was 20 or 30 people spread out where we all met at the dock before, and then we departed to go to Horn Island. It wasn't just a couple of us. I mean, there were so many people, we had to split up between 3 boats, and we all left and all got there at the same time.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that's clear, because the statements that are out there made it appear that it was just you, Nolan, and probably 2 or 3 other guys, and y'all are the only ones that went out to this island.
And that's completely incorrect. I mean, Horn Island on the 4th of July is the most popular day to be on the water the entire throughout.
Well, that's quite different. It doesn't matter like how many people was on the boat. We know when the boat left, you said that he wasn't on that motherfucker. And even that, we know nobody never, it's not the assumption that you guys were the only ones on the motherfucking island. We know that it was several other people out there on a damn island. And y'all, just to keep, this is a police officer. He used to be a police officer saying this dumbass shit. Okay. So, it's intentional. Okay.
The entire Gulf Coast. I mean, everybody and their mom is on the water on 4th of July,
Nolan's mom wasn't out there.
There's no telling. I mean, roughly probably 2 to 3, maybe even 4,000 people out there. There were boats lined up off the island. I mean, there was 3 rows of boats all the way until my vision ended, until I could see of people there was 1 row of boats, and then there was another row of boats, and then there was a 3rd row of boats. Yeah. I mean, there was people lined up all up and down the island to where, who knows? I mean, and that wasn't just, we were parked on the north side, on the west tip. It wasn't just there. I mean, there's tons of people packed out on the south side and on the east end and in the middle of the island. But just where we were, I mean, there was easily 1,000 people. It wasn't just us.
Let's go back a little bit. I want to go back to you guys.
Easily 1,000 people. What you just said, 2 to 3, 4,000?
At the dock, getting on the boat. You're saying there's multiple people, probably 20 or 30 people getting on 3 boats.
Right.
What boat were you on and what boat was Nolan on?
Nolan was on YH-22 Triton. On the way out, I went with my buddy Bart because we had a lot of friends from college coming down. And I called Bart that morning. I was like, hey, man, can you take your boat out? And he was like, yeah, well, my dad decided not to go. And I'll take the boat and I'll take you and your friends. Of course, I mean, he's a buddy of mine. And so Bart pulled up at the dock. And I mean, I rode out there with Bart and a lot of the girls that go to college with my friends and I. And Nolan rode out on the Triton. And then we had a Palm Beach, 18 Palm Beach. There was 4 guys on that. There was like 8 people on the Triton, and then there was 8 or 9 people on the Triton, and then there was the rest of the group, which was ranged from maybe 10 to 15 or 16 people on my buddy's tide line, which is 24 tide line.
And so you guys get on, and I know a little bit more than the audience do because we went out there a little earlier because I wanted to see exactly what the drive was like, what the dock was like, how far it is out there.
Of course.
But I want you to tell, the audience, like, what was this trip like? How was the waters? Did you guys do anything in between the time you rode and the time you get to the island? Was there music? Is it like a big party? Like what is that?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously music's blasting. It's 4th of July, man. I mean, everybody's really excited. And I mean, we had a lot of people loaded down. So obviously our biggest, we're just trying to make sure everybody, gets out there safe. And so, I mean, on the way out there, it was pretty calm. I think it was blowing like 3 or 4 knots. I mean, the waters were clear. It was a great day to be on the water. Sunshine, not cloudy at all. And I mean,
It's kind of strange that like he's lighting up talking about, the Horn Island and just the experience of the boating and everybody, the excitement of the 4th of July and everybody being out there. And I understand that a little bit because, it's lit. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all partying, y'all kids, y'all young, y'all partying. But he's not just talking about last year's 4th of July where they probably had a ball and all of that stuff. This year is something totally different. Now you're talking about an experience that had turned out to be your bro's best friend last day on earth. And you still have this fucking smile on your face, looking like a skint ass bobcat. I don't trust this boy.
Great day to be out there on 4th of July. And so, I mean, we followed each other out and I mean, it was calm. It was calm. On the way back, it was a little more rough, but it was not anything all my buddies' boats couldn't handle, or like, it wasn't like we were getting really beat up or anything. I mean, it was pretty calm. And
so you guys get out there. I'm assuming that you line the boats up because I'm envisioning the picture of getting out there and there's hundreds of boats. Mm-hmm. There's thousands of people. Yeah. So it wasn't just you guys on a deserted island.
Of course not.
A few people. There's just thousands of people out there.
Right.
And there's a lot of people doing what? What does it look like when you first pull up?
I pull up and we pulled up at 10:30. I mean, it wasn't, early afternoon. I mean, it wasn't, but 10:30 is, still pretty early in the day. And when we got there was already 3 rows of boats lined up all the way, like I said, until I could see. And
you're talking, when you say all you can see, you're speaking about miles.
Yeah.
A boat. When we went out there earlier today, but when we went out there, the island is massive.
Correct.
I mean, it's just several miles long.
Roughly 10 to 12 miles. I mean, it's.
So you think that the boats were stretching from one end to the next, or just a small area of about a mile or less than a mile of boats? Well,
I mean, I think there was boats all the way around the entire island, but I think some spots were more popular than others. Like the West Tip is usually very, very crowded on the 4th of July, and everybody knows that. So that's where a lot of people park because they want to be around other people. And the East End's a little more, there's not as many people, but there's still a lot of boats out there. I mean, it's not like every area of Horn Island was covered 100%.
Wow. So you get out there, y'all jump out. What do you do?
That's why it's so damn strange that nobody's seen Nolan. It's like he disappeared into thin air and came up in the water 2 days later.
When I say jump out, you're obviously not just sitting on the boat. The island is there. Like, what exactly are people doing there? Like, are you spending more time in the water, on the island, in the boat? Like, how is that look out there?
I mean, everybody, as soon as you get there, I mean, there's people on boats, grabbing drinks and, food, whatever else. Like, I mean, everybody is fully prepared for the 4th of July. They bring all the drinks and food that they need. Because, I mean, they've been preparing for 4th for a little while now. But when we got there, I helped my buddies tie the boats up because the tide line was right here, the Palm Beach was in the middle, and then the Triton was on the outer side. And there was about a drop off from where the bow was. I mean, if you jumped off the bow, you were probably got neck deep in water. But if you got off the stern, you were probably waist deep in water. I mean, but when we got there, we tied up, got, bow and rear anchor set, and we tied up all the boats, made sure they were good, and everyone just got in the water. Then eventually, next thing you know, it's our group. And then, next thing you know, there's 50 other people around us. And then it just grew and grew as the day came on. And, that's just how it was. Everybody's drinking, it's 4th of July. Everyone's just trying to enjoy themselves. And, it's a big party, basically. Big party.
Yeah. So y'all pretty much having a good time. Just like anybody would imagine, 18-year-olds, probably 20-year-olds, college students out on the island, women, you probably had alcohol. So y'all having a good time.
Yeah, of course.
And so where's Nolan in this? You guys.
Not yet, of course, because y'all motherfuckers ain't old enough to even be drinking. So, of course, that shouldn't be a thing.
Out there, the friend groups are out there, 3 boats full of people that came out there that seem to be the closest friend group.
Right.
Where's Nolan in this in comparison to where you and others are at?
Well, I had a couple conversations with Nolan that day, and
he didn't ask you if you had a couple conversations with him that day. He asked where the fuck was Nolan at during all of this stuff. What was Nolan doing? Where was he at? And then for him to say all these people, by the time they get like it's 50 more people surrounding them. So I'm assuming they all came with boats and shit too, right? Or from other boats.
I talked to him and a couple of my other buddies in a group. I was not focused on anyone solely, like looking and pointing anyone out, because there's so many people out there. I mean, I was talking to my friends that I haven't seen in a while from high school. I was talking from people I knew from college. I was talking.
Who the fuck asked you that? What does that have to do with anything? That's like every time he's asked a direct question, he's not answering it. And for this motherfucker right here to be a damn police officer or ex-police officer, he should notice this deflection.
Everybody my age and even people older than us were, over there. Like, I mean, it was just a regular thing. We're all used to this. We've been out to the islands before. My buddies don't just go out to the island on 4th of July, but they go out, every weekend. Like I fish the islands. I don't just, fish around Horn Island. I fish around Ship Island too. So.
See, he's saying this stuff for a reason, not just to be saying it. Like this is some reason. This is his story of some sorts to cover something. This is his story. Because it has nothing to do with what he was just asked. Where was Nolan at? You talking to different people and you fishing and loving to fish, that has nothing to do with where was Nolan at doing all the partying and shit like that. So you talking to everybody, is this saying that, you were too busy socializing to even notice where Nolan was at? So that's right there. I mean, that doesn't even have to be explained. Just like shit, I don't know where the fuck he was really, because I was too busy drinking and socializing. The hoes was outside. They outside in the swimsuits, bikinis and shit, I'm assuming. So shit, I wasn't trying to look for Nolan ass. I was trying to look at them hoes. What, Shaboy, but them females. Okay? So all of this stuff right here is lackadaisical and does not even make any sense to even why he's saying this. Okay? That's just to point that out.
I'm very familiar with islands, and I feel like it was just a big, I talked to Nolan, and Nolan was drinking. Everybody was drinking, most of everybody. And I mean, Nolan seemed completely fine every time I talked to him. We had just regular conversations, and Nolan was making me laugh. I had a couple conversations with Nolan and Javon, Nolan and my buddy James, Nolan, and I mean, I could tell you, I mean, I talked to Nolan a couple times, but it wasn't like I was strictly sitting there talking to Nolan the whole day. I mean, there was hundreds of people I knew out there. So
yeah, and Nolan said something interesting. You told me about this. Something he said to you, I would say would be indicative of y'all's friendship.
Right.
And then he also mentioned something to you about that particular day and what it meant to him.
Right.
And could you share that?
Right. Yeah. So Nolan and my buddy Javon are talking, and I grew up with Nolan, and Nolan's just all, like I said, like just so joyful, like always happy. Like every picture I have with Nolan or picture I have of Nolan, he's smiling. I mean, like he's always happy. If I always need like a shed of light, I'm calling Nolan.
Warren, some of those pictures looked a little creepy, but the way that you keep saying this like this, and I understand he might have been, a live kid and just always happy-go-lucky. But it's hard to believe that out of all of the years, most of your life that you have known him, that y'all have never had a disagreement. And it's also concerning to me how some of the pictures that you guys took, you looked like you were always like up on him. And I don't know if you had a crush on him or if it's that Nolan looked the way he did, attractive, and you looking like a damn bobcat, a human bobcat, and Nolan brought the hoes. No, the girls wanted Nolan. So you wanted to chummy up to Nolan so that you can get maybe some leftover scraps from the girls, or they would think that, okay, one of my girls, if they come in a group, one of them got Nolan got, interested in one of them. So, okay, I can get one of the other girls out the group. Is that it? Because I just don't understand. And again, he's not talking about Nolan as if he's deceased.
And Nolan and I laugh and joke a lot. Like that's how our friend group is. We're really jokingly laugh. No one takes anything that serious. We enjoy our time together. I mean, there's never any awkwardness within our friend group. We're very, very tight. So but I'm quite sure Nolan didn't enjoy this last time that you guys had together. And this should be a time that you shouldn't have been enjoying either, because now Nolan is deceased. I need to get something off my chest or talk to anybody. I'm talking to all my friends. I'm not just talking to like specifically anybody. I would go out, like even if I'm having issues with something, I go talk to my group chat, and my guys are there to give me a hand anytime I need it. And all my guys are, all my buddies are the same exact way. Nolan was the same exact way.
Again, what the fuck does this have to do with the question he asked you?
If you ever need something, I'm here, man. Like that's how he was. So,
and then you guys get ready.
Yeah, when he needed y'all wasn't there for him. You or the other guys that's in the group chat. Yeah.
To leave prematurely.
Right.
And explain that, because you guys got there around 10.
Yeah.
It's now 4:30.
Right.
People are still out there. They got there around 11. After 11, actually. But he's saying, yeah, like, no, that's not. They already released the timeline of the boat's GPS.
Partying, and they're having a good time. But something.
Y'all didn't even leave land until damn near 10.
Happened to where it necessitated you guys to get the boat up and running. Can you explain that?
Yeah.
So that was part one of his interview with Warren, which didn't tell us shit, but that Nolan was a very nice guy and that he's always known Nolan for most of the life that he can even remember, and that Nolan was just a good all-around person. He never talked down on people or anything, and that Nolan was there anytime of need, and they can all depend on him to be there for them in a time of need. But yet it looks like when it was his turn for you guys to reciprocate or show that careness toward him, it didn't fucking happen. So again, this is what I have on this part of the interview. We're going to move on to the second part. again, this guy Tatum said that he was going to like dropping bombs in these interviews, and I haven't seen one, especially not in this first part. This is just telling how much he said that he loved Nolan and appreciated Nolan and enjoyed Nolan's company. We didn't get the answer to where was Nolan at that day when you were on the boat. We didn't get any events of the day, but that they got on the island and was partying, which we already fucking knew. Okay, so again, this is an ex-police officer that, those investigative skills that they have, and this is the problem that I have with some of the lawyers that talk about some of these cases, and particularly the Carmelo Anthony case. Like, if you're a lawyer, like most of the time, like you're a defense attorney, like you might be a corporate lawyer. And usually these are not lawyers that we're hearing from when we're talking about crimes, or if you were a prosecutor or something like that. But if you're not a prosecutor, that usually means you're a defense attorney. Okay. So when they can't come up with plausible things that ordinary people is thinking about, that concerns me. And it also concerns me for your fucking clients. Because if you can't come up with something plausible or have any questions or question some of the shit that is being said and told and stuff like that, that does not make sense by you being a defense attorney, that shit makes me question your whole fucking career and whatever you got going on. And if I was a person that was in your area, I would never want to hire you to defend me because you ain't gonna come up with a fucking thing. So I don't know. I'm going to be doing part 2 and 3. So just give me a moment and I'll be dropping these back to back so you guys, can have these together. Okay. So make sure y'all like this video, subscribe to the channel, and also let me know too in the comment section, like what day y'all want to go live to kind of talk about this. Today is my little Bailey's birthday, okay? And tomorrow is her birthday party. So we can't do it tomorrow. If we do it tomorrow, it's going to have to be probably kind of later on in the evening. But let me know what y'all think about this, because I also want to cover that call for help to that dispatcher and the stuff that was heard in there in the background. So we'll talk about it later, but in the meantime, between time, y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification so you know every time your girl upload, and share this okay, with people that want to get into the breakdown of lies, okay? All right, bye.
Welcome to Tater Talk Lane, come ride with me. Hot tea, real talk, yeah, that's the key.